Racing to the 2022 Kentucky Derby, and this time around we're going to take a look at the 10 fastest Kentucky Derby starters for 2022. We're going to take a look at the different kinds of speed ratings and get you ready for the Run for the Roses. Remember, when you're talking about speed figures, there's actually as many as 10 different types of speed figures out there, and those are just the more popular ones. There's people that do their own private services and other people that sell private speed figures. But when you're talking national speed figures, you've got Equibase. Those are available for free at equibase.com. You've got the daily racing form with their Beyer Speed Figures. Those you have to buy the daily racing form. You have Timeform, which you have to purchase, and then Brisnet. Those are a paid service. They are owned by Churchill Downs, but they are available, the numbers, on their website, the top performers. So those are the main speed figures. We're going to take a look at the 2022 Derby through those speed figures. Remember, when you talk about speed of horses and Beyer Speed Figures and Equibase Speed Figures, horses do not run against the stopwatch. They run against other horses. So when you see these numbers, they can't be looked at in a vacuum. You've got to take a look at many different variables: the pace of the race, how fast they run early, the size of the field, did they have any trip trouble, ground loss. Some of the more advanced speed figures factor in wind, and then the speed of the racetrack. Was it muddy? Was it fast? Was it extremely fast? Was there an inside rail bias? Did horses on the outside do better? So whenever you see speed figures, and the more advanced the speed figure is, the more they try to incorporate wind and speed track, size of the field, ground loss into that final figure. So sometimes speed figures are a performance figure, and sometimes they're actually against the raw time of the racetrack. When you take a look at Equibase, again, their top 10 speed figures vary from Messier at a 107 and Zandon a 107, all the way down to Taiba at 102. Now, what that means for you, the handicappers, you look at these horses, the difference between a 107 and a 102 is about a length and a half to 2 lengths, depending on the speed figure. So you could potentially have, if this race was run against the clock, you could have 10 horses within a couple of lengths. But again, post position, track surface, pace of the race, and how they actually run on the day of the race will determine the final results. Normally for Equibase, it takes about a 105 to 108 to win the Kentucky Derby. Again, as we've talked about on handicapping the Kentucky Derby, a lot of times the horse that wins the Kentucky Derby, it'll be a new career best effort that it takes to win the Kentucky Derby. So Messier and Zandon already have speed figures good enough to win a few of the last couple of Kentucky Derbies. Tiz the Bomb is right there with a 105, but again, that was on a synthetic surface. And then Smile Happy, the runner-up in the Bluegrass, he has a 104, Mo Donegals a 103, and then you go down to Taiba a 102. On the Beyer Speed Figure scale, Messier, again, is at the top, but that speed figure is actually his speed figure from earlier in the meet when he ran that in the Robert Lewis. So as a handicapper, that was on February the 6th. You have to figure out, can he replicate that speed figure from February 6th all the way to May 7th? And then also, is he improving? Is he declining? Remember, the overall trend all the way up until October of their 3-year-old year, the average speed figure on these horses will continue to improve. They are not done improving. So an older horse, you know, very rarely will they cycle up to a new top after 10 or 12 career races, but a lot of these horses are lightly raced. They're going to run a new higher speed figure in June and July than they are going to run in April or May. So you've got Taiba with that 101. Now remember, Taiba in his maiden special weight race, there's a good example. He ran a 103 at 6 furlongs in his first lifetime race. Then he stepped up in class, so that's a variable. He went to a grade 1. He also stretched out to 9 furlongs, so that's a second variable, and he ran a 101 in the Santa Anita Derby. Zandon a 98, Simplification a 96. So you're already starting to see, answering the question, who has the fastest speed figure, is a little bit different because it depends on the speed figure maker. Now, Timeform is relatively new to the United States. They have Taiba as the fastest horse in the country. They've got him with a 123. They've got Messier number 2 with a 121. And then again, Tiz the Bomb on a synthetic surface, a 118. The question is can he replicate that 118 on a true dirt surface? And those of you who may not know, the surface at Turfway Park is a fake surface. It's kind of a plastic hybrid Tapeta surface. So that's why I say it's not on a real quote-unquote traditional dirt surface. Mo Donegal and Zandon and Equibase, all within 2 points on the speed figure scale. So they can be separated by as little as a half a length on the racetrack on Derby Day. Now, Tiz the Bomb by Brisnet. Brisnet's been around a little bit longer than Timeform. One of the things is they make less manual adjustments to their speed figures. It's more computer algorithmic oriented, where Beyer makes speed figure adjustments. They adjust for some of the other things. Timeform adjusts for ground loss and pace a little bit. Mainly pace, not as much ground loss, but they do incorporate that every once in a while. They're saying Tiz the Bomb is the best horse, Epicenter, Equibase, and Cyberknife. So those are just some of the speed figures and different speed figure surfaces. Again, overall, we've had a 97 from Epicenter, a 95 by Cyberknife in the Arkansas Derby. Florida Derby was a 99 for Equibase, and then a 103 in the Wood Memorial. Those were all Equibase speed figures. Pace will make the race. So you've got the Sunland Derby, the Jeff Ruby Stakes, the Arkansas Derby, and the Santa Anita Derby. I think pace ended up playing a role in those races, and overall, that is maybe how the final speed figure was determined. There was a faster pace in the Santa Anita Derby. There was a faster pace in the Sunland Derby. So those horses got carried to a higher final speed figure. Now, sometimes that doesn't always happen. I think horses want to be looked at in improving. I think Zandon, Mo Donegal, and Taiba can all improve, along with Messier and Cyberknife and Epicenter. One of the things with 3-year-olds is all the way up to career starts 4 and 5, these horses can still improve very dramatically. A lot of times they show improvements of 10 points in career start number 3, 4, and 5. Now, what does it take to win the Derby on the Beyer scale? It takes anywhere from about a 103 to 102 to a 104 to win that. 101 last year for Mandaloon, a 102 for Always Dreaming. So when you look at it, Taiba and a couple of other horses are already right there on the Beyer scale to win the Kentucky Derby. Now for Equibase, it takes about a 110 to 112 to win the Kentucky Derby. Always Dreaming a 106, Nyquist a 108. So when you look at horses like Zandon and Epicenter, they're right there with their 107. They are close to winning the Derby, just even topping just a little bit. So we could have a Derby winner, probably an above average Derby winner overall in 2022. The overall top 7, when you combine the 4 different speed makers, it's Taiba, Epicenter, Mo Donegal, Zandon, Messier, Smile Happy, and Equibase. So the question for you is which speed fingers do you use most often, and which of these horses do you think can improve and run a new best speed figure on the Kentucky Derby 2022. Remember, leave a comment, smash that like button. And if you have a question about speed figures, we're going to be doing a live stream coming up soon. Leave a question for speed figures as we continue to lead you up to the 2022 Run for the Roses.